Project Cars 2 is controversial, but beloved by many people, and even those who didn't fully enjoy it could see its potential. And that's why it made the excitement of Project Cars 3 something that was very exciting, until we found out that the franchise was pivoting in a more arcadey direction. So it left a lot of us asking, what if? Well, we might not need to be asking what if anymore, because the core team behind Project Cars 2, as well as the classic GTR games that a lot of the old school sim racers loved, this team is back, and it looks like they're making what is the true spiritual sequel to Project Cars 2, Project Motor Racing. There's a hole left in the sim racing market by Project Cars 2. It wasn't just another PC-focused sim. It brought this high-fidelity racing to the console market without making even gamepad players feel like second-class citizens. It was super accessible, and it was one of the last sims to truly respect offline racers, offering the most robust single-player career we've seen in years and since, with progression, structure, variety. You know, most modern sims either ignore the offline experience entirely or treat it like an afterthought, while Project Cars 2 didn't. And when it began fading out, no other game truly stepped in to fill that spot. And this hole that Project Cars 2 fills is one that's really important, because Project Cars 2 helped grow the hobby. It had console accessibility, VR support, triple screen optimization, and an actual career mode. With a lot of different assist settings, it made it a gateway sim for many players. It got a bunch of people into sim racing, people who would eventually buy high-powered PCs, direct drive wheels, and that benefits everyone in the long run. More players means more money in the ecosystem, which eventually leads to better gear, better games, and a healthier sim racing community. And this is why I feel this mix of skepticism and excitement about Project Motor Racing. At first glance, it feels like it could carry on the legacy of Project Cars 2. There's a lot of familiar DNA, both in terms of vision and team members. The publisher is Giant Software, the dev team is Straight 4 Studios, which is led by Ian Bell, the same person behind GTR 2 and the Project Cars game. And based on early hands-on report from this first event, PMR's game engine isn't just going to be optimized for triple screens, but pick up and play and work really well in VR also. That's what the marketing is saying. And it is going to be ready for console players from day one. There's not going to be just a long, year-long beta on PC. It'll be ready for consoles from day one. And that alone makes it stand out and something to be noticed. And there's more. Over 70 cars across 10 classes will be available at launch. It's going to have a single-player career mode, historic and modern GTs, hypercars, and even prototype machines. And I really like this emphasis on classic cars. It's something that isn't as emphasized or pushed, I feel like, in today's sim racing world. The taste for it just doesn't seem to be there. But with this game, it seems to be there, and you can tell that they're really pushing for these classic cars and trying to draw in lovers of classic racing, because they brought in some Le Mans winners to market this game and to test drive. And from the early reports, it actually even seems like the historic cars drive better and feel better than the modern ones. So there's a strong emphasis on classic cars. If you like classic endurance racing especially, there's a lot of excitement for this game. And this game is going to be built from the ground up with a new engine. So Madness engine is gone, so all the legacy issues it might have isn't going to be there. They're building it from a new physics system that's supposedly going to simulate every element of the car: engine, drivetrain, tires, suspension, aero, and more. And so for someone craving an immersive and nostalgic experience, this sounds like everything we could ask for. It sounds very ambitious, but there is a risk that it could be too ambitious, which is really what was the big fault in the Project Cars game. They might have been a little too ambitious with too much cars, too much tracks, too much. But here's the thing that I think will be the real test. What'll make this game great if they get it right. The AI. Online racing is so overcovered already. We have more than enough in that. We have iRacing, ACC, LFM, and more. But what we don't have is a great modern sim with excellent AI and a focus on the offline player. One that tries to make the offline player feel like they're battling against these professional named drivers and fighting for the championship. Because let's be honest, most of us don't have this time or energy to practice and do ranked online races every night. Many of us want a sim race to unwind, which career modes, championship playthroughs, AI battles, all these things matter because of that. And it seems like the good news is that Straight 4 Studios seems to know that. In an interview with Overtake GG, the devs said they're applying the same core physics model to the AI and to players, and that's a green flag. They even acknowledge that the mistakes they made with the AI they acknowledge the mistakes they made with the AI in the Madness engine, and they're aiming to build something more realistic and competitive. And that's what I like to hear, that they acknowledge that the AI in the Madness engine had a lot of big issues, and the AI being on a different physics model caused the racing to not seem immersive or realistic. So this is great that they've acknowledged that and are trying to work past it. They mentioned in that same interview that if there's a performance bottleneck, they're going to prioritize realism and consistency over max AI count. So they're in the right mindset. Initial reports from creators who were at the first physics event who have tried the alpha build all seem to indicate that the actual physics and force feedback is just okay. It's solid, but it needs refinement. So that kind of dampers the excitement. I don't want to take any words out of their mouth, so I'll refer you to these videos in the description from Overtake GG and Traction GG. These videos were very helpful in getting information for this video. And so look, I'm not saying PMR is going to be perfect or that you should fully put all your excitement marbles into Project Motor Racing. It's an alpha, and some elements, like the odd snap oversteer that some creators mention and the handling that was inconsistent in some cars, it does need work, and maybe it won't get fixed. But the vision is exciting. This could be a sim that finally brings back the spirit of Project Cars 2 while adding the polish and community involvement we've always hoped for. Project Motor Racing might be the sim we've all been waiting for, especially if you loved Project Cars 2 or GTR 2, but there's still a long road ahead. If the AI, physics, and career mode deliver, this could be a new benchmark for immersive offline sim racing. So let me know what you think in the comments. Does Project Motor Racing look like a game that you would play? Are you more excited about it? Are you more skeptical? And if you want to stay updated on the road to the release, be sure to subscribe to this channel. I'm hoping to dive deeper into it and, of course, play the game when it fully launches. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the track.